I never would have wanted this to happen. We've had a terrible loss this episode, and I don't know how to deal with it. Hello, everyone. My name is Taya, and this is going to be my review for The Walking Dead, Episode 8 of Season 5. Now, I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, Taya, why isn't this video out? Well, I'm replying, to myself that the video's not out because I was not able to make the video at the time of watching. But I'm here to do it now, and I'm kind of like getting all the feels again because, well, I mean, you guys know what happened. Let's just talk about this for a sec. The episode starts off with Rick. He's chasing down Bob V2. And he finally catches up to him, and he keeps running. So Rick gets into a car, he drives up to him. He's telling him to stop. And he doesn't stop. So you know what Rick does? Like a freaking psychopath? He runs him right over. I was like, oh my god, Rick. And to my surprise, this guy lived, like, and he's like telling Rick to help him. And Rick's just like, it didn't have to be this way. All you had to do was stop it. And he's just like, you've been out here too long. And then he shoots Bob V2 right in the head and tells him to shut up. Like, Rick has gone cold. I swear to God. Rick is something else. We see Gabriel casually in front of a room of walkers. He's just roaming around and stuff. I'm like, Gabe, what are you doing? He comes across Mary's Bible, and then he sees Bob's foot, and he just goes crazy and throws something, which then the walkers, like, they get out and they start attacking him. He starts running back towards the church, and he's yelling, help me. And I was like, wow, the irony, because, you know, he is doing the same exact thing that people used to do, and he wouldn't let the people in. And so I really thought Michonne and Carl wasn't gonna let him in. I was like, wow, shut down of his own church. As we know, they let him in. Michonne starts axing down the door with a baby on her back, might I add, and she finally gets the door open and stuff, and she finally starts using her sword. I'm like, wow, what a badass. And again, with a baby on her back, like, who do you know can do all these martial arts skills with a baby literally on their back? Gabe tells Carl and Michonne to just run, and he puts the machete in front of his face, and the lady walker, like, kind of dives in, and she cuts her face open. Look pretty good. And he kills his first walker. He says, I can't run anymore, and Michonne says, we aren't running. So what do? They set up traps right outside the church for all the walkers. Or were they traps? No, they actually trapped the walkers inside the church. They didn't set up traps for the walkers. Well, I mean, they did set up traps for the walkers. I mean, you know what happened. Rick starts questioning the plan, so Daryl's like, hey, why don't we just ask them, will this plan still work? And so they go over to the officers they have lined up, and the girl officer, I forget her name. She was like, he was a good man, talking about Bob V2. And then Rick's just like, you're a damn good liar. Oh, I love Rick. So then they proceed to go over a new plan. We see a scene with Beth and Dawn. Beth is working personally for Dawn, and she asks what happened to the guy in the picture. It was explained that the guy in the picture was her friend, her mentor. His name was Hanson, and he just lost his way, apparently. People stopped respecting him, and we see Gabriel, Michonne, and Carl again, and walkers start to break down the door, and Carl's just like, where do we go? That's when Abraham's team shows up, rides in, and Glenn tells Michonne that the cure was all a big fat lie. Michonne also tells Maggie that her sister's actually alive. But I'm like, finally, like, Maggie has just completely forgot about her sister Beth. Granted, she probably thought she was already dead, so why would you think about someone who's dead? So this creepy guy asked Beth if she's good with a needle, and Don tells him that they have work to do to protect Beth, I think, and this guy gives them a pretty evil looking face. I'm like, wow, he's pretty creepy. Don comes in on Beth sitting in that little like place where the hole is. I really don't know what it's called, but she's just like, he's gonna be okay, and Beth's like, nothing's gonna be okay, which is pretty sad because of the events that happen later in the episode. But Don's just like, are you gonna jump? And then they start having a talk and everything, and that creepy guy comes back in and tells Dawn she's slipping like Hanson. Dawn reveals that she's the one who actually killed him because no one else would, and Dawn points a gun at the guy. At this point, I started to feel bad for Dawn. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like she really liked Beth, and I felt like she was just misguided in a lot of ways, and I don't know, I started to like Dawn. Don't hate me, guys, don't. But I actually started to like Dawn. I did. I felt like what she thought, she really, truly, sincerely thought she was helping people, but her morals were just really, really, really bad. So the guy starts talking about the past and everything, and Dawn starts crying and stuff, and then he full-on attacks Dawn. I'm like, oh, it's about to get real. Beth tries to help Dawn, and the guy, like, pushes her back and calls her a bitch. I'm like, don't you dare. Don't you dare talk to Beth like that. And that's why Beth pushed him down that hole. So Dawn thanks Beth, and we have an episode cut to where Dawn comes in the room and she's talking to Beth, and Beth tells Dawn that people use each other around there. Dawn used her, is what she thought. And then she tells Dawn that she's gonna get out of there. Dawn tells Beth that Noah is gonna come back because they always come back, and Beth is like, no, Noah is going home. And then Dawn tells Beth that she didn't use her, and actually she reminds her of herself in a lot of ways when she was younger. So we have a scene with Tyrese and Sasha, and basically Sasha was saying she can't be the same and whatever. But after that, we have a very exciting scene with Rick. He's walking up to the cops and he's just like, hey, I'm Rick Grimes. Like, okay, Rick. Okay, because that's how you greet people that you are potentially going to kill. Like, what's up? I'm Rick Grimes. Probably one of the best things Rick has ever done. So Rick mentions the proposal, and the officers tell him to put down his weapon, and Rick's just like, okay. Like, he looked so offended that anyone would tell him to lower his weapon because, you know, you could just trust everyone in the zombie apocalypse. So Rick gets down to actually explain the proposal. Basically, your people for my people, and the officers are just like, where are they? Daryl shoots down a walker, and Rick's just like, oh, they're around. Rick thinks he's clever. So as Beth and Carol are getting ready to go, Rick brings in the officers and they're getting ready to make the trade. Dawn asks where Bob V2 is, and Rick's just like, oh, he got caught by the walkers. And the other officers are like, yeah, we seen him with our own eyes. Dawn knew they were lying. She knew it was a lie, I could tell. So the trade was made, and then Dawn's like, hey, we want Noah. I mean, you had one of our guys who died, so we want Noah back. Rick and Daryl weren't about to let Noah go, but then he's just like, you know, it's fine. And he goes over there, and Beth goes to hug him, and my heart crumbled because I shipped them really hard. Dawn's just like, I knew he'd be back, and Beth gets in her face. And then it happened. Beth is just like, she understands now. And then she got shot in the head. And then Daryl takes out his gun and shoots Dawn in the head. Can we just have a moment of silence for the life that was lost? That is Beth Green. May she forever be in our memories and our prayers. Okay, that was a good moment of silence. Thank you everyone who was silent for it. After that big thing, the officers were just like, stand down, stand down. It was about her. And I really liked that it didn't turn into some type of like shooting battle. It was just about Dawn, and that's all it was about. Everyone just looked horrified. Beth and I mean, not Beth, she was dead. Daryl and Carol and Sasha and Tyrese and even Rick. Even Rick looked horrified. Like, for a while there, Rick was kind of, like, unfazed by people's deaths. He was angry about it, but it just seemed like he was not sad about it. Rick just, like, oh my god, you just killed Beth? Like, that's a look he had on his face. But Rick offers for anyone to come with them. And I think that's so noble of him. So everyone goes outside, and Maggie can already tell, and she starts crying. And Daryl's just carrying Beth's dead, limp body, and Maggie just throws herself to the ground, and she starts crying. But then, you know what makes up for it slightly is we get to see an amazing character at the end, which is Morgan. Morgan finds the church, and he starts laughing for some reason. I don't even know why. And then he finds a note that Rick wrote, and that was the end of the episode. Okay, so I actually have some things to talk about right now. I kind of think that Beth might have shot herself, because if you look back at the scene, I've actually looked at it a bunch of times now, Dawn looked in complete shock when it happened, and after it happened she was shaking her head and saying no. I really truly believe that Beth killed herself because she wanted Noah to get away, and she knew the only way for Noah to be free is if Dawn is out of the way, and she knew if she killed herself then they would kill Dawn. She knew that it wouldn't have happened any other way. Dawn wouldn't have gone down any other way, and so she sacrificed herself for Noah. Also, I just realized that Maggie's mom was the first one to die out of her family. Then her brother died in the season 2 finale. Then her dad died in the season 4 mid-finale. And now her sister died the season 5 mid-finale. And I'm just like, wow, Maggie has had it hard out of anyone else. I mean, yeah, Rick lost his wife, but he didn't lose his whole entire family. At least not to the apocalypse. And it's just sad. She lost her whole family to the apocalypse. And I guess that's my review for this episode. It was a great episode, besides the fact that darling Beth died. She will forever be remembered. I actually watched The Talking Dead, which is something I don't get watched since I make the reviews right after the episode usually. And Emily Keeney, she started crying, and then I wanted to cry. It was just sad because she explained, like, the cast members on The Walking Dead is her family, it's her home, and she has to leave all that after 4 years of working on it. And I was just like, sad face. But I mean, it's a part of showbiz, I guess, and that's what you have to do to play a role. So yeah, great episode. Character of the episode is Beth. She's been the character of the episode 3 times now. It's just, I really love Beth. I'm gonna miss her. And quote of the episode is, it's actually a funny one since there wasn't a lot of home-hitting quotes to me. And it's Rick with, "You're a damn good liar." So yeah, there you have it, folks. That is my mid-season finale review. I just like to say quickly that thanks for everyone who's been watching my reviews. I honestly didn't think that anyone would care to watch them or care about them, but people actually look forward to them, and I wish that I would have posted this the day I am supposed to, because I didn't know people actually looked forward to them. I just posted these videos because I really love The Walking Dead. But I sincerely want to thank each and every one of you for watching my reviews, and I can't wait until February to continue them. So if you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. I'm trying to get 100 subscribers by Christmas time, so if you want to contribute to the awesomeness, be sure to subscribe. And also, I'm doing a video every single day in December, so I mean, the fun doesn't have to end here. You can watch me doing some shenanigans and talking about stuff if you want, or if not, that's fine too. Again, thanks for sticking with me through these 8 episodes. It means a lot to me. Also, check out the links down below to my YouNow, Tumblr, and Twitter, especially Tumblr. Follow me and become a fan, all that good stuff. And, yeah, so to anyone who's just a Walking Dead fan, see you in February of next year. And other than that, I will see you later. alligator.